Hello and welcome to another Aki's video and to a new 2 million credit time trial on Gran Turismo 7. We are at Suzuka in the Group 2 cars and I have picked the Honda NSX for this one. I used an hour trying this, so this is a normal first impressions video. Didn't turn into a brain melting all day and evening experience like the Bathurst challenge in the Maserati. And let's just get straight into this one. So I am just waiting. It's now 9 o'clock. I can jump into the new time trial challenge as some of the first people picking up a prize for the previous time trial challenge. And let's go and pick a car. And as mentioned, I am jumping into the NSX and this is my first lap. And I actually managed to do a lap without going off track. So that's a start. We are getting through turn 1. Trying to widen the entry into this part, almost losing the rear of the car. I haven't driven Group 2 cars in a while and I spent the evening before this trying to improve my Maserati time, so I am straight out of a car with no grip and no brakes into a Group 2 car, so that gets some getting used to. You definitely want a wider entry into Dunlop curve, the corner leading out of the S's. But I got up to 4th gear. Now we've got the Deckners coming up, using 4th gear out of Deckner 1, 3rd gear out of Deckner 2. You can see I'm using the lower gears for a bit of rotation. Now the hairpin, I'm way too impatient coming around here. This car won't turn if you start applying throttle too soon. And now spoon curve, really dodgy entry into the first part, but I managed to find the late apex on the second part, and now we are going through 130R, just flat out, not much into that one, braking just after the 150 board, and yeah, we missed the apex there, nearly overcooked the Casio triangle, and we are across the line in a very slow 154.236. So we just carry on the following lap. It wasn't much better. Still did a lot of mistakes, but we carry on. This is lap 3, coming into turn 1, using the 50 board as a reference. I am coming in a bit narrow. It's easy to go too hard on the brakes. This car has a lot of downforce, but we make it around the first corners. Now through the S's, all about getting the car turned. There is some elevation change here that can catch you out, especially this corner. I'm down to 2nd gear briefly just to make sure the car doesn't run wide. Up to 4th gear, I'm almost running wide there. Once again, I didn't get the entry right, so that compromised the exit. We're coming through the Deckners. I'm missing Deckner 1. I'm also missing Deckner 2, just for good measures. Now into the hairpin. And am I doing a better job this time? Yes, slightly better getting the car turned before I get on the power. And now spoon curve, using somewhere between the 100 board and there's a small tarmac pathway after the 100 board as a reference. We make it round here and 130R flat out and looking for the 150 board somewhere after that. I'm not really sure about any markers. Once again, this is a first impressions video. I definitely recommend watching Titsney Key 25 Mr. MCA for some proper guides. We are down to a 152.3 and soon I am running out of talent and the Astro gets me. But we've only done 8 minutes, so let's load a Ghost and get back in. And I know it's the GTR, but there wasn't any other fast available Ghosts at the moment, so I just had to go with this one just to have someone to follow. Getting a sort of wide entry into, I believe it's turn 2, leading into the S's. I think we are okay getting the car around. Make sure I don't get too eager. This is all about finding the rhythm. I'm not really finding it yet. I am keeping it tight here and keeping it to the right side so I can get a good run into this corner and out of here. And you can see I am at least hanging on to the Ghost. And I think my time is creeping up. Nearly went off at Deckner 1 and cutting a bit too much maybe on Deckner 2. At least it was a bit scruffy. Now it's the hairpin. Be patient. I wasn't patient enough. You can see I got too early on the throttle, and then I had to lift off again on the exit, and that's going to cost you. Coming into spoon, less of a wobbly entry this time, and I am on the other hand missing the apex on the second part of spoon. Coming into the Casio triangle, we are doing okay. You can take a bigger chunk of the second apex. Almost got a slide on there, but we are getting across the line, and I can remember this is a 52 flat. So we just continue coming through turn 1, not getting the widest entry, but it's okay, definitely better than before. Can we find the rhythm through the S's? Yeah, I think so. We are coming uphill, and here we're going over a crest. That's why you have to be really sure that the car doesn't slide to the left. And yeah, our time was up, but I had to lift a bit much on the exit, but still better than before. And we are coming into Degner 1, found an apex this time. Degner 2, that was really chopping off a lot, and my exit wasn't the best. I outbrake myself, but at least I'm patient enough to get the car turned, so I get a better exit this time compared to earlier. Into spoon curve, a bit wobbly, but we keep it together. Can we find the late apex? It's all about being patient. We didn't find it this time, but anyway, just coming towards the chicane, down to first gear, up to second. At this point I am upshifting to third. I'm not sure that's the fastest. I will have to check that out myself. And we are across the line in the 51.3. I've spent 20 minutes now, and now it gets more grindy. I spent quite a few laps trying to get back into a rhythm, and also getting used to following a ghost that went quite a bit faster. So I had to push more, and that caused a lot of mistakes. I'm not showing the entirety of this lap because into spoon curve I completely lost track of where I was. Braking at the end of the curve, that's way too early, and it completely threw me off, and yeah, completely missed the second part of spoon. But still, despite all this, and also outbraking myself slightly into the Casio triangle, but as I was saying, despite all this, I still managed to get in a small improvement, and that was a bit annoying because then I knew I could do a fair bit better. I'm almost running out of time now, but I know I can eliminate those obvious mistakes. So this is my final run for this morning, and also the final run for this video. We are coming into turn 1. I'm looking for the 50 board. Don't brake too hard. This time I get a bit too narrow entry into this part, and you can see it compromises my exit. I'm just about to run wide and lose the rear. We are making our way through the S's. Make sure to not overcook any of those. It's all about just be patient, almost run a bit wide. It's all about this corner, and this was just about the best entry and exit I've done on this one so far. So that's the important one, and we're coming into Degner 1 and Degner 2. I think we are all right. Yeah, getting an okay exit. Now the hairpin, looking for the end of the curve there, and once again I'm not being patient enough. I'm trying to get onto the power a bit too early. You really just have to let this car coast around the corner. It cannot turn if you try to push it. And now spoon curve, looking for the 100 board, but maybe more the tarmac passageway on the right just before the 50 board. A bit too narrow entry for me there, but at least we find that late apex for the second part of spoon. And now we just have to power up towards 130R. Just keep it flat out. I think the turn-in point is somewhere just past the 50 board. Just have to trust that the car will stick. And now braking just after the 150 board. Now I could see that the time was up, so I am being a bit cautious. I was actually scared I was getting a track limit penalty there. Keeping the car to the right side of the track to make the shortest way to the finish line, and we finish in a 151.049. I tried to continue for a couple of laps, but I lost focus. My time is up anyway. I have spent my hour, but I will have to get back to this to improve further, because I expect this to be a proper alien magnet. It ticks all the right boxes. We are at a real racetrack and we are in a proper race car. It's high downforce, and I expect some world tour drivers and other fast people to come here and learn us all a lesson. So this is a work in progress. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it entertaining, maybe even somewhat useful. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Bye bye.